ignores the fact called the lie of the year during the Obamacare debate in 2011. Forecast for Friday, cloudy, highs in the low 50s. Tonight, cloudy, lows in the low 40s. Saturday, mostly cloudy, highs in the low 50s. Sunday, rainy and windy, highs again in the low 50s. For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gostad.
Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves' corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening.
3, 2, 1.
Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. We are back in the studio. We have transitioned. I can't believe we had to get in the time machine, Dom. The flux capacitor. Capacitor. Is that what Jeremy Ryan was acquiring radioactive material for?
It's what makes time travel possible.
Well, welcome to hour 2 of the Devil's Advocates Radio Show, and we'd love to check back in with our guys live on the scene at North Division High School. But they're apparently in detention.
We assume we will touch base with Earl Ingram Jr. and Sherwin Hughes at North Division High School, concluding the Barack Obama speech. Crudy, we were there. We were working. Some technical issues. A very well-built
technical issues?
School. I got to tell you, that is a solid school, North Division.
You think it will survive the coming apocalypse, Trump-pocalypse? Anyways.
But what a great speech, Barack Obama. I loved it. I loved the one that caught my ear the most. The Republicans fighting against the ACA for, however many years. And then at the last couple of weeks before the election, acting like they're Florence Nightingale. Well done, Mr. President.
I think specifically he might have been talking about your girl, Leah Booper. Nurse Ratched, if you will.
Oh, she lay in front of a bus before she let anything happen to my pre-existing conditions.
Dominic, there was Barack Obama. He was there for Tony Evers and Senator Tammy Baldwin, and they were on the stage with him. Now, I understand there were some troubles with some of the competing rival live streams. I think most of our signal held up. But no on-site tech support offered at this little rally, so hopefully you bore with us and listened to all the fine words. And Barry had him fired up. Barry had me fired up. I was feeling inspired. I know I get a little
Did you feel
bristly at those events because I want everything to go
Rudy?
politically speaking. Yeah, a little bit. How about you?
It was a great contrast to just a couple short days ago, President Trump up in Mosinee. The message that Obama was giving people, of course, motivating people to work, but, comparing what should be in politics, being able to disagree, but not outright lie. I mean, these guys just lied. I'm paraphrasing. Of course, Obama's way more eloquent than I, but as we were walking out, Crudy, I was just thinking, wow, that's how you give a speech. That's how you bring people together. That's not at all what Trump did Wednesday.
Well, we would like to acknowledge our fine team today. This was a team effort, top to bottom. I want to thank our producer, Fancy Brian, the greatest of all the Garys. No, you did a fine job, Fancy Brian. That's why you got a cookie. I brought him back a cookie, Dom.
It was delicious and nom, 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 nom.
Sherwin Hughes and Earl Ingram still on site. Hopefully they can check back in. And if they do, we will go back live to North Division High School. But this was a team effort. And I would say this little political rally, something of a team effort. As I mentioned, Tony Evers and Tammy Baldwin, but also Gwen Moore. And Gwen Moore rolled out the Scott Walker Blues. Not the first time I've heard her sing the Scott Walker Blues. But the newest version apparently has like several verses.
It's like the 9-minute version of Freebird.
And she had a backup singer. That was perhaps the highlight of the event. I mean, next to Barack Obama, of course, that was the best of the best. But perhaps a close second, Gwen Moore singing the Scott K. Walker Blues. And I'm thinking to myself, you know what, Scott Walker? No, you're thinking of Scott P. Walker. I'm Scott K. Walker. Yeah. No, I think she meant you, wanker.
Yes, we concur. We have the Scott K. Walker Blues.
And Dominic, tonight, the second and final of the gubernator debates. Tony Evers takes the stage tonight against Scott Walker. And Scott Walker had his own surrogate in state this week. You know, he stood next to Donald Trump, pumpkin spice president, and I would just contrast the difference. I mean, we've seen these two events in 2 days, Dom. Wednesday night, we were in Mosedy, and they were berating us with the sound.
94 decibels, because that's what we need when we're trapped in the press box and not letting us leave until everybody else gets out. Here's a big FU from Donald Trump to the press.
Sort of, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else
very
I could
hard
interpret
else
it.
to interpret
Yes.
the sound waves that you could feel. I felt like I was being pushed up against a wall by the overplayed sound.
Hell, I think I saw Stormy Daniels sitting on a speaker. It was so loud.
Touche. But today, the contrast, the people weren't holding their ears. I mean, if there was loudness, it was the crowd roaring their approval for President Barack Obama. Still my president, hashtag.
Yeah, he is missed, and seeing him speak again, in contrast to our current president, you know, yes, people get out and vote. I mean, if that doesn't motivate you, if that doesn't drive you, listen to that speech and not think, wow, where have we gone? You know, it's one thing, again, to talk about, Crudy and I used to argue, well, oh, what should the tax rates be? Now it's like, oh, should government be able to, you know, conspire with foreign governments to, you know, take over our elections? I mean, the shift of conversation has gone so far.
The one I'm nervous about, you know, rally to rally, is can you imprison the press, the journalist, those other than in the press pen for an extra 45 minutes?
Well, we got out fine today, but
let's just call
not
that
the president anymore.
Passive aggressive.
Not really,
I mean, the Republicans.
Not really passive.
Donald Trump could get aggressive. Look at the Khashoggi treatment. You want the Khashoggi treatment? No, thank you.
No, hell no.
But I'm saying that's as bad as it gets.
Well, doesn't Donald Trump say he could beat somebody up? Joe Biden? Who does he say he'd beat up? Somebody, right?
Do you
Bernie
believe him?
Sanders? I mean, I don't know. But, I mean, the president talking about I could, beat somebody up?
He's a big man. You know, if you got in tight, he'd hug
Come
you.
on. That dude's soft. I mean, he's soft. I mean, you grab that man's arm, it's like a marshmallow.
Ass.
Absolutely, dude. Come on.
You shook his hand.
He shook my hand.
You gave him.
I think I might have hurt him a little
bit.
The
bump that made him the president of the United States.
If that were to be true, I would apologize to the world.
Well, here's what I do hope for, Dominic. I hope that Barack Obama coming to town for Tony Evers and Tammy Baldwin and, of course, Gwen Moore, and we barely mentioned Randy Bryce and Dan Cole. They also took the stage with Gwen Moore, although I didn't hear them singing.
She didn't really pass the mic a whole lot.
You know, they mouthed the words, but I didn't see him. I couldn't hear them over the feed, you know, quietly singing.
Congresswoman Gwen Moore sure loves to sing.
Church voice singing.
She has a passion for it, but probably about my level of talent. I mean, come on. But it was pretty funny.
Also, Josh Call, Sarah Godlewski,
yep,
and Mandela Barnes. He's growing each and every day. That young man's growing into a fine young Democrat. Probably has a bright future. Hopefully he has a bright now, or at least a week from now.
Yeah, hopefully. What did you think? I took note. Evers' speech, I thought, probably as passionate as I have ever hear him speak.
Sure, I'll give you that.
Tick, tick. Pregnant pause.
I was thinking, you know, I'm just still enraptured with the former president. And talking about, because that's who I was there to see. And I know we had to sneak out before the encore, Dom. But I got to tell you, man, Barack Obama can light up a room. And, you know, Tony will do well tonight. But here's one thought. And the phone lines are open, 844-967-2789. Call us if you were at the Barack Obama or if you listened to the Barack Obama right here on Real Resistance Radio. Again, my team did a great job. Thank you to one and all. But tonight, and in the ads, as Barack Obama pointed out, Republicans will just outright lie. Well, tonight's Tony and the Wankinators' very final debate. And here's my question. I need audience participation. We got a short show here. What lie would you make up about Scott Walker tonight? What sort of whopper would you lay on the Wankinator in the final debate tonight? I mean, just make the accusation. When a Republican, you watch, Scott Walker will have some new out-of-left field accusation, try to put Tony on the defensive. Tony will be like, what's he talking about? Because it'll be a fabrication entirely. And then they'll pound negative ads from here to Election Day. So help us choose for Tony Evers. Let's do Tony a favor. Busy with the former president today. What whopper should Tony tell about Scott Walker? And if Tony's too big a man to do it, you do it. Right here on the Devil's Advocates. I'm going to think of a few fabrications.
Hell, why do you have to even go fabricate? There's plenty that's actually true that you could point out.
Tony's too Wisconsin nice, man. You got to kick him in the nards and then go for it. Come back with us. More Devil's Advocates. Thank you to all my crew. Real Resistance Radio.
Yeah, thank you, Sherwin, Hughes. Thank you, Earl Ingram Jr. Thank you, Fancy Brian Kelly. Crudy, well done, sir.
844-967-2789. We'll be right back.
They'd like to take me out for a lot of reasons far bigger than just this election.
Yes, it's true. This man has no d***.
Do you love public education? Do you want to support your schools? Then you should support the people who make them work. You should advocate around issues that improve the quality of a teacher's workplace, will increase opportunities for students, and make schools safer for everyone. Stand with teachers. Stand with WEAC Region 7.
I'm Andy Buck, Field Representative with Painters and Allied Trades of Wisconsin. It's an issue that brings constant challenges for building contractors. How to find qualified painters, glazers, and drywall finishers. IUPAT knows what you want. A professional job performed by skilled workers who care about safety, training, and finishing strong. Workers who are reliable and ready on demand. Let IUPAT provide the people power that you need. You'll feel confident the job is finished right. Connect at IUPATDC7.com and finish strong.
It's really good to be here. You know, the stakes are really high for this election.
Trump's administration does hurt women's rights.
He's a threat to health care for all Americans.
Randy Bryce is so important to us because of his stance on reproductive freedom.
Randy Bryce will stand up to protect women.
Women, working people, need to stand with Randy Bryce and vote for him on August 14th.
I'm Randy Bryce, and I approve this message.
We got Mark Pocan live via phone. Mark, does Paul Ryan hate poor people?
Oh, he hates poor people and middle-class people. I mean, I think when he was probably 5 years old playing with Play-Doh, trying to, adjust the taxes on Play-Doh. And so, to be fair, I think he's doing what he always said he was going to do. It's just no one actually believed he was either that cruel, evil, or dumb to do it.
The Devil's Advocates, weekday afternoons on 1510 a.m. Wisconsin's Resistance Radio.
The Devil's Advocates, the fix for political junkies everywhere.
And we are back from the 420 break. Thank you so much for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show live on Real Resistance Radio, streaming on YouTube and Facebook or on Twitter at Devil Radio. And the party line, talk or text, toll free 844-967-2789.
Dominic, I feel like the 420 break came early today.
No doubt.
We're going to have a gentleman on the show about a week from now, next Thursday, actually, Brian Simonson. We're going to have him back. Let's not forget, everyone, while you're out voting, please do us a favor. Vote yes on legalized marijuana or medicinal marijuana, as your local referendum may have it.
Yes, whatever the details are of your marijuana legalization.
You're going to go commit voter fraud.
Don't do that.
But do it for legalized marijuana, man. Take one for the team. So what? It's a felony. So what? You'd go to jail for 5 years. It almost seems worth it to cast one more ballot. That's always been the logic
for Republicans
behind the voter ID. And yet still there are a handful of specific instances of Wisconsin Republicans, or at least Republican-supported voters, going out there and committing felonies for the right, usually pleaded down, but for the right to...
Go vote once. Vote yes for the marijuana referendum. Don't get too high and then vote twice. That'd be bad.
You can vote up to 420 times as far as I'm concerned. It's an advisory referendum, but don't get caught.
844-967-2789. Betsy, you are up. Happy Friday, Betsy. Did you listen to the former president, and what'd you think?
Oh, my God. I long for him so much.
Yeah.
I miss him so much. He's so eloquent. He's so, presidential. It's amazing, the difference. The night and day difference of the POTUS that we have in the White House now. I mean, he's bringing people together, and we are all in this together. Please, people, vote Democrat all the way down. This is what we need right now. We can't have these guys just corrupt our whole government, our whole democracy, everything. Oh, my God, so much is on stake. Thank you, Devils, for being there.
Thank you, Betsy. We appreciate it. Thank you for listening.
This one was easy. I mean, I feel refreshed coming out of a Barack Obama rally. You feel like you need a shower to get off the bronzer when you leave a Trump rally. I mean, I was in physical pain the very next day. After a Trump rally, I mean, it took a toll on my body. This one, not so much.
No, yeah,
but the show's young.
The Trump, I would agree. The Trump rally seemed to drain the energy a little bit, and the Obama rally seemed to enlighten the mood, to give me energy. It was like Superman and the sun, and we saw lots of our friends there at the rally today, including this one, Pizza Box Mike.
You know what? We let Betsy off the hook without asking the oh-so-important question. If you were going to lie about Scott Walker in tonight's debate, what would you say?
Pizza Box, you're up. Thanks, man. What do you got for us today?
Oh, wow, that was a bus starting up there. I'm out actually in front of UW-Milwaukee, and they... do you know why they always put the big Scott Walker signs in front of the cornfields? It's to make it look like a bigger crowd. So now they got a crowd here that's here in support of Walker. We're gonna be here to protest him. I'm wondering where everybody is. I had to walk through it. It was scary, and I tripped, which is so, I guess appropriate for me tripping through Scott Walker as he's trying to trip us up on health care. Thank God I made it through that event. But they all got, signs that have, big sticks, and they're, 5 signs on each stick to make it look like corn, I guess. That's what it looks like to me. Cornhole, something like that.
So, Mike, what'd you think? Anyway. I saw you at the arena, the Barack Obama at North Division High School-Milwaukee today. Did you stay for the whole thing, and what'd you think of the president's speech?
I stayed for everything except maybe the last, 20 minutes he was talking, because I wanted to get to my car and get the heck out of there. And
did you listen to the end of the speech on Real Resistance Radio?
Yeah. Came through just fine, man.
Right on.
10 a.m. it was on. So I listened to it, you bet. But I thought it was a pretty good rally, and I got to talk to a lot of people, and I think, we're energized, and the more people we can convince to go out and vote before November 6th, the better off. I know I'm going to start talking to some more people, and the ones that are playing that middle stuff anymore, I'm out of there. Because you know what I mean? The extreme doesn't mean you're a radical or somebody that does stuff like that crazy guy we just found out about. Thank God he had Trump stickers on his van. But we're going to, they're already spinning that and saying he's a Democrat and he put all, you know what, it's whatever people want to believe. I'm just glad they got the guy. And hopefully that's all there is more to this, so that people don't get scared to go out and vote or go somewhere because there's crazies out there. Yeah, those violent ones that Trump's always talking about.
Michael,
here at his rally.
Let's talk about something cheerful. Scott Walker debating Tony Evers tonight, the final gubernatorial debate. What would be your advice for Tony Evers? What do you think the best punchline to deliver, true or, fabricated? Your choice.
I think when he brags about the fact that we have the highest employment we've ever had in Wisconsin, just shoot it back at him that, more 70 and 80-year-olds are out there working than ever before, holding the doors open at Walmart and Quick Trip and all the fast food places and all them low-paying jobs that Scott Walker's creating here in Wisconsin. Ain't fixing the roads either.
Mike, I think you hit him right with the facts. Thank you. Pizza Box, Mike, our good buddy. Let's keep going, right, Dom?
Yeah, let's get another one in here. We've got a couple of minutes. Kurt from Madison, you are next. Happy Friday, Kurt. What do you think?
Well, first, I listened to you guys at the Trump rally, and I contacted the manufacturer of the vomit bags to reinforce them to secure the velocity that occurred listening to that insanity that you guys were at.
Our insanity? Trump's insanity or our insanity, Kurt?
Trump's insanity.
Oh, okay. All right.
Thank you for clarifying that modest distinction. Hey, Kurt, quickly, what about Barack Obama today? Quite a contrast.
Yeah, this is just simple. There's the sane, and then there's the insane. If I were to just take a couple bites from your show when you were at that event with the orange orangutan, the one woman's argument about why he's so great. I mean, that's just
you mean
in your face shows how crazy they are.
He's winning because Space Force.
Exactly.
Kurt, thank you for the call. Thank you for listening. Devil's Advocates, we air grievances on Friday. 844-967-2789. Light up the political party line. Come back with us. Join us. Let us know. Also, Tony Evers. I think it's time to go dirty, Tony. The whole campaign, you've been clean and above the fray. Time to give him one below the belt.
Come on,
Rabbit punch, kidney shot.
Go with what got you there. It's almost over. Walker will do bad enough on his own.
Well, I will say bad things about Scott Walker on the radio nonetheless. Although you're right. You hardly have to lie. He's just that bad. Come back with us. More Devils. We're just that good.
What do you think of these online reports that say you had a love child in college?
To me, this is a very, very sexy subject.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at ZeroResMadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
I'm Brian Stile. I was born and raised in southeast Wisconsin. It's my home. I approve this message because from agriculture to high-tech manufacturing, we work every day to move Wisconsin forward. We all want our communities to thrive, so the next generation has the opportunity for good-paying jobs, like it used to be. I'm Brian Stile, and you can count on me to always put you and your family first.
Paid for by Style for Wisconsin, Inc.
5 your local single-source IT solutions provider, specializing in cloud technology, consulting, servers, networks, and hosting. We manage your IT so you can focus on running your business. Enjoy technology. Enjoy 59s.com.
You are listening to Real Resistance Radio, WRRD 1510 AM Waukesha and WTTN 1580 AM Columbus. Always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
It's really good to be here. The stakes are really high for this election.
Trump's administration does hurt women's rights.
He's a threat to health care for all Americans.
Randy Bryce is so important to us because of his stance on reproductive freedom.
Randy Bryce will stand up to protect women.
Women, working people, need to stand with Randy Bryce and vote for him on August 14th.
I am Randy Bryce, and I approve this message.
Getting a raise at work shouldn't mean paying more for healthcare and taking home less. Badger Care is arguably the best and most cost-effective health plan out there, but it's not an option for most of us. Lillian Cheeseman is fighting for us to change this. Lillian is committed to making Badger Care accessible and affordable to anyone in Wisconsin without income qualifiers at an affordable price. Let's cut the red tape on Badger Care and work for a healthier Wisconsin. Be a real Wisconsinite and vote for cheese for Assembly 15th on November 6th. Paid for by Friends of Cheeseman.
You concerned about speaking up at work? Do you feel like you have no say in your day-to-day work routine? Join Teamsters Local 344. Call 414-258-4545. Get a seat at the table. Join your brothers and sisters in negotiating for better wages, hours, and working conditions, and be part of the most powerful union in North America. Teamsters Local 344 covers sales and service throughout southeast Wisconsin and package and airlines statewide. Contact Teamsters Local 344 at 414-258-4545 or at local344.org.
Tune in to Real Resistance Radio. Start your weekday off with the Earl Ingram Show from 6 to 8 a.m. Next, it's The Forum with Sherwin Hughes from 8 to 11. Then from 11 to 2, it's the Tom Hartman Program. At 2 o'clock, it's the Brian Kelly Show. Then from 3 to 6, it's the Devil's Advocates. Mandatory listening. Always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted. Several Wisconsin business leaders spoke out yesterday against Donald Trump's trade policies and tariffs. The executives held a town hall meeting in Waukesha to discuss the impact of tariffs on manufacturers, agriculture, and other businesses. Higher tariffs cost Wisconsin companies $95 million in the month of August alone, according to a business group called Tariffs Hurt the Heartland. One of the hardest hit sectors is the restaurant industry, where the price of everything from food to dishwashers and refrigerators is increasing due to Trump's trade wars. Forecast for Milwaukee and Madison: Friday, cloudy, highs in the low 50s. Tonight, cloudy, lows in the low 40s. Saturday, mostly cloudy, highs in the low 50s. For Real Resistance Radio, I'm Keith Gosted.
The Devil's Advocates. Sausage making never looked so good.
Well, I'm singing this song 'cause Scott done me wrong. I got the Scott Kevin Walker blues. Lord have mercy, I scream and I shout 'cause I got the Scott Kevin Walker blues.
Well, you know you need to be strong, though it's so hard to get along with the Scott Kevin Walker blues. Wait a minute, y'all. Scott got $800 million from the public schools. Now he wants us to vote for him. Does he think that we are fools?
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Sound from a little earlier today. Gwen Moore and friends singing the Scott K. Walker Blues. And I think the entire state of Wisconsin's had the Scott K. Walker Blues for what? Going on about 8 years and counting.
I don't know if she got the licensing for that, because everybody's been singing it.
What, the Scott K. Walker Blues? We're going to play a little sound from the rally, but first let's get back to the phones. 844-967-2789. Your reactions to Barack Obama in town for Tony Evers and Tammy Baldwin. Let's hit it. Bob from Waukesha, you're next. What are your thoughts, sir?
Hey guys, I love that song. You wanted a lie for Tony Evers to spring on Walker?
Lay it on us, Bob. Come on, man. What is it?
I mean, this is how we do it now. It doesn't even matter if it's true or if it's not. Just stand up, say it with conviction, and they'll be convinced that it's true.
Rebecca Clayfish has lowered her standards, and her and Walker are getting it on.
See, I don't want to do that to my buddy Joel. I've drawn a line right there. I got to say, no, because that implies she's cheating on all these people. No, that one you don't have to say.
844-967-2789. I feel like I know this guy.
And the Republicans, quite frankly, with the precedent they have, the, paying off porn stars here, there, everywhere. I mean, are any of them going to be offended were that the truth about Scott Walker? No, I don't think they would. That's the point. And so I'm not going there. Different lies.
You're so sensitive. L.A. Tom! Hey, buddy, how you doing? Happy Friday. Thanks for calling. What do you got?
Hey, guys, we the people still are the government.
You know it, baby.
And you know that. Here's what I would ask. If the moderator says turn to the guy and ask him a question, if I was Evers, I'd say, Scott, 4 years ago or 8 years ago, whatever it was, you were told to be held accountable for bringing 250,000 jobs to this state. Either ask Scott how many has he actually brought to the state, or point out exactly how many he has brought to the state. I think that would be quite the look on Scott's face if he wouldn't know what to do, because that guy from the news, when he interviewed Scott Walker years ago, said, do you want to be held accountable? Do you want to be held for these jobs? And Evers could say, where are the jobs, Scott? Where are the 250,000 jobs?
But don't you think at this late hour, if it didn't work in 12 or 14 more accurately, that really should have been 2014's issue. But if it didn't resonate with enough voters to throw him out on his ass back then, Tom, why would it resonate now, especially when, we've got 8 months of the lowest unemployment rate of 3% in Wisconsin's history? I mean, he can lay out his platitude and be totally dismissive of the big goal he never kept.
No, sure, but Tom, I'm with you, man, because it's one thing to say, hey, he didn't meet his goal in the first 4 years. That's 8 years now, and Scott Walker has never addressed it. I'm not talking about, the question itself will maybe not resonate as it will with you and me, Tom, but Scott Walker's lack of an answer will be glowing.
That's what I think. I think that, first off, nobody used it 4 years ago. The only people that used it were you guys at domandcrew.com, recruitandom.com.
I prefer the latter.
I know you do. That's what I'm both. And then the other thing is that nobody ever used it on him. The only people that used it on were you guys on the radio. Otherwise, I didn't see Mary Burke say one thing about 250,000 jobs in that promise. And I think it really needs to be asked.
Yeah,
you were told
I agree.
You wanted to be held accountable. Where are the 250,000 jobs, Walker?
Hey, Tom, I don't want to make you the personification of every gay human being I know, but you do run the gay and lesbian yellow pages in Los Angeles. That's your endeavor. And I got to ask you, my friend, when Donald Trump starts taking the tack that legally you are whatever your genitalia tells us you are, and that there is no existence of people transitioning. Tom, what's your thought on that? What do you think your clients think about that?
Oh, I think that he's full of what. The thing is, people are who they are, and nobody. Our orientation is already decided by us and by our Creator. Before we ever get here, and we should have nothing but compassion. And no, we shouldn't have compassion because we're not victims on the LGBTQ community. We're not victims. You know what? For people that don't want to get to know us, they're losing out on meeting an incredible person that could really change their life.
Tom, we've seen this nation evolve very quickly on this issue. I mean, once upon a time, our visitor here in Milwaukee today, Barack Obama, 2008, when he was elected, I don't think he was for gay marriage, Tom. That was something he was dragged into by Uncle Joe Biden in some small part. And I would mention Joe Biden in Milwaukee on Tuesday. We'll broadcast that one live if we're able as well, Tom. But this issue, we've seen the nation evolve very quickly. I think everybody's got a gay friend. Everybody knows somebody, family, friend, something. So if you know human beings who aren't just like you, Tom, we tend to find out, they're kind of like us in a lot of different ways outside of what you may do in your bedroom. Tom, are you concerned that we're going to go backwards on all these issues, and with the establishment or the empanelment of Brett Kavanaugh in the U.S. Supreme Court, are you concerned about issues like gay marriage again?
I am. I'm very, very concerned about the issue of gay marriage in the conservative Supreme Court. And, again, it's all about getting out the vote. It's all about taking back, the House. It's all about taking back the Senate. It's all about taking back the presidency. And, for any LGBTQ community member that actually votes in the conservative direction, they're basically putting a knife in the back of, our own people. And I hope they remember that and that they vote blue and vote Walker's ass out of Wisconsin.
Tom, better words never spoken on this fine program.
Tom, we always love it. Hey, man, people want to support you and the Gay and Lesbian Yellow Pages when they head out to L.A. What's the website? How can they get a hold of it?
It's glpages.com, gayandlesbianpages.com.
Hey, Tom, one last thing. You see my daughter Kelsey out there lately?
I haven't seen Kelsey. I'm going to see her next week, though, getting a haircut, and she'll be there, I'm sure. Her last day with Casey.
My best to Mark.
All right. Sounds good. He's right here with me. So.
All right. Hey,
awesome.
Mark. All right, love you guys. Thanks, man.
Tom Kurt. Hey, Dom.
Oh, you cut off
Mark. Oh, hey, hang on. Tom, go ahead. I got you, man.
Oh, Mark just said, I said, what up, Dom and Crute?
Oh, hey, Mark. Thanks, dude.
Appreciate it, guys.
Right.
Have a great day. Folks, we are the Devil's Advocates. We got friends all over. Love going out to L.A. just so we can hang out with Mark and L.A. Tom and, of course, my daughter, but probably enjoyed their company more.
Good people. We always have a good time when we see them.
844-967-2789. You're always good company when you call the Devil's Advocates radio show. I'm sorry, Don.
No,
please.
no, you're fine, man. Jeff from Madison, you are next. Thanks for calling today. What do you think?
Hey, guys. I was wondering, the lie that I think Tony should drop on Scott tonight is, hey, we've heard that you're an excellent sportsman. Let's see some pictures of those bucks that you've got.
Well, that's not a lie either. Scott Walker's the liar on that topic. He keeps buying the deer license, taking the Instagram photo out behind the governor's mansion and, call it a year.
All 17 minutes that he goes outside, it's about, 2-3 more minutes than he spent when he was running for president, that he was actually governing the state.
Remember when he hurt his thumb with a out trap shooting, or maybe it was duck shooting? I think he claimed,
the recoil of the shotgun.
The recoil of the shotgun, but he claimed he got the bird.
All I got to say is don't give that man a firearm because he's just going to hurt himself.
Give that man a firearm.
It can't be any worse than the cabinet injury.
I feel bad for Tonette.
I don't know.
She made her bed as well.
I kind of agree. Jeff, sometimes people say, and I heard it actually yesterday, I feel bad for President Trump's wife. And I said, don't.
Melania.
Don't feel bad. I mean, she knew what she signed up for when she started with that man. She knows exactly what's happening. She signed up for it. She can leave anytime she wants.
But you know what she apparently did not sign up for? Campaigning. She's not on the stump. Melania's not out there stumping for these red, whatever you want to call them, fringers that Donald Trump is most embracive of. I mean, if you're on the political fringe, you're liable to get a visit from President Donald Trump. See Wednesday's rally with Vukwer and Scott Walker.
Well, with all the Russia conversation, investigations going around, I'm not clear. You want your wife with an Eastern European accent, sounding like the bad one on The Spy Who Loved Me, out campaigning for you.
She does sound a little like Natasha.
We got the
Boris and Natasha.
This one's for Tom. We got the jobs collage, Brian. Tom, Mark, this one's for you.
The 250,000 is my floor, not my ceiling. I think it's at least 250,000 jobs.
We're going to do well with the voters because what I hear overwhelmingly is they want help with jobs.
250,000 is a minimum. It's just the base.
I was elected last year largely because I have a plan, a specific detailed plan to help the private sector of our state create 250,000 jobs.
Well, the only campaign I'm focused in on is to create 250,000 jobs here in the state. And I think as long as I stay focused on that, as long as we try to bring, at least in the legislature, Republicans and Democrats,
our state create 250,000 jobs.
Is this a campaign promise, something you want to be held to?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And
even so he claimed.
To this day, Crudy, 8 years later, we're not even close. I mean, I did some math recently. Don't quote me on it. But I think we're still under 200,000 jobs.
I don't know if he will ever get to 250,000 jobs because the entire state of Wisconsin's had the Scott K. Walker blues. Not Scott P. Walker, Scott K. Walker.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
Which one had the baby out of wedlock in college?
Depends on which one you ask. Come back with us. We are the Devil's Advocates. That's not a lie either. Allegedly. 844-967-2789. What's the worst you could say about Scott Walker? You know, make up a whopper. You know he's going to say something back about Tony. He could raise the gas tax $1 million.
More than $1, he said at the Trump rally. More than that. First it was up to $1, then it was more than $1.
Trump's teaching him hyperbole. Bigger is better.
Is that hyperbole or is that just straight up lying? I think that's what
lying.
Barack Obama's point was today.
Come back with us. We'll play a little of the Barack Obama sound. Enjoy the Quidmore. We'll be right back.
If it wants Scott Walker to leave us, we gotta vote for Tony Evers and get rid of the Scott Kevin Walker blues. One more time. Scott Kevin Walker blues.
No, I'm going to stay for a while. How about that? Freedom.
Man, come on. I had a rough night, and I hate the f***ing Eagles, man.
Here at Bounce Milwaukee, we not only want families and friends to build connections, we also want to grow those connections in our community. That's why every Wednesday night from 5 to 8 p.m., we host Refuel the Resistance. It's a great chance to have a drink in our arcade bar, try something from our fantastic restaurant, connect with progressive activists, and support local organizations. For more information about Bounce Milwaukee's Refuel the Resistance, visit us at bouncemilwaukee.com or call 414-312-4357.
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
On marijuana, unfortunately, as a public health issue and a public safety issue, I've opposed that.
Dr. Sanjay Gupta, how can medical marijuana help those addicted to opioids?
There's three big things. There's clear consensus now that cannabis can treat pain. That is not an opinion. That is a consensus conclusion by big scientific bodies like the National Academy of Science. We also know that it can help treat the withdrawal symptoms of opioids. People, they don't want to be on them anymore. They want to quit, but they develop the terrible withdrawal symptoms. And now we have evidence that it can actually help heal the part of the brain that is diseased in someone who's an opioid addict. If you had to start from scratch and design a substance to help lead us out of the opioid epidemic, like in a lab, it would probably look very much like cannabis.
Call Governor Scott Walker at 608-266-1212. Tell him good people do smoke marijuana. This message was paid for by the People for People Corporation. Donate online at p4ppc.org, p4ppc.org.
The Devil's Advocates, tackling the issues you're not allowed to talk about at the dinner table.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show on Real Resistance Radio. Streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter at Devil Radio. And you can join us on the phones at 844-967-2789.
Dominic, I just took my lunch break during that 2-minute break. Whew. Feeling a little bit better. Let's get a little hangry.
Don't get hangry, man. I know. I get there sometimes as well.
It gets to be a long day, but this a refreshing day because we saw Barack Obama today, and we'd like to play just a little of the sound from this. And once again, want to thank our fine sponsors that allowed us to broadcast this today. They include Teamsters Local 200. Know there were some Teamsters local guys they're supporting today. And also our friends at Bounce Milwaukee and the Iron Stash. He's big on this event. Brian, if we could, we got a little Barack Obama from earlier today at North Division High School. Let's play it for the people.
I love you too. Give it up for your next governor, Tony Evers. Your next members of Congress, Randy Bryce and Dan Coe. A leader we are sending back to the Senate, Tammy Baldwin. It is good to be back. There are a lot of good reasons to come to Milwaukee. You got the Brewers, great season. Did much better than my Sox. You got the Bucks, 4-0. Giannis is balling. You got the Badgers. You've got brats. You got beer. So there are a lot of good reasons why I would want to come to Milwaukee. Couple of my nephews, Austin and Aaron, also live here. They're little guys, but they're getting bigger all the time, which is why I try to beat them at basketball now before they can beat me. But all those reasons aside, that's not why I'm here. I am here for one simple reason. I am here to ask you to vote. To vote in what might be the most important election of our lifetimes. Now, politicians will always tell you that, oh no, this one's really, except this one, it really is that important. The stakes really are that high. The consequences of anybody sitting out of this election are profound, because America's at a crossroads right now. The health care of millions is on the ballot. Making sure working families get a fair shake is on the ballot. Whether the union movement survives or not is on the ballot. But maybe most of all, the character of our country is on the ballot. Now, the good news is that in the past, when we've been at these crossroads as a country, Americans have made the right choice. But we don't always do it right away. Sometimes it takes too long to make the right choice. And when we do make the right choice, it's usually not because people sit back and let history happen to us. It's because folks like you, folks like me, marched and mobilized and voted for a better history, voted for a better future. That's how we abolished slavery. That's how we overcame the Great Depression. That's how we liberated a continent. That's how workers' rights came about, and women's rights came about, and civil rights, and immigrants' rights, and LGBT rights. That is how the story of America became a story of progress, because we got out there and did the work. Because, you know what, the truth is, making this country better has never been easy. It's always been a fight. For every 2 steps of progressive change forward, a lot of times we take 1 step back in conservative retrenchment. That's what happens. That's been the pattern. Every time we pull ourselves closer to our founding ideals, that all of us are created equal and endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, whenever we start moving in that direction, the status quo pushes back. You win the right to form a union, then people try to bust your union. You fight and win a higher minimum wage, and then Congress just doesn't raise it for a decade. You win the right to vote, people try to make it hard for you to vote. The powerful and the privileged fight hard to keep what they got.
That was Barack Obama. We are proud that we at Real Resistance Radio were able to play that out for you, but we want to save some time for a few more callers in this hour at 844-967-2789. Let's get to Wisco Paul. How you doing, Paul? Welcome. How you doing, Paul?
Happy Friday, boys.
Hey, happy Friday,
Paul. Yeah, it's nice to listen to a real president Man, oh man.
Hey, Paul, would you vote for him again? I mean, if he was running, if it was allowed, would you vote for Barack Obama?
Oh, absolutely, and I think he would have got a third term if he would have been able to run. And, hey, I want to say this before we get to the top, or you guys get to the top of the hour. Governor's flyover, looking down on the poor souls like me who have to drive his roads, is total BS. Lastly, I want to thank your radio station from Milwaukee to Madison, the city I love, and to Leesburg. You guys are a little station that could. You've enabled people like me to come on your radio and voice my opinion, which is totally, totally awesome. And from the bottom of my heart, I just want to thank your radio station, and I know you have a lot more listeners that don't call in, and I urge them to do it because, like I said before, if Wisco Paul can do it, anybody can do it. You guys have a great weekend.
Quickly, though, Wisco Paul, and thank you for all the kind words, but my friend, what should Tony Evers say about Scott Walker tonight? I'm looking for some blood in the water here, my friend.
What's the knockout punch, Paul? If it were you, how would you do the overhand right?
Well, to me, the biggest issue is when you can stand up. Well, the road is big too, but to me, the biggest blow I could land on, and I'll call him Governor Walker. You are suing the federal government to get rid of the Affordable Care Act. And if you do that, there's no way people are going to be covered for pre-existing conditions.
But,
it's not going to happen.
Paul, unfortunately, Scott Walker just gets on stage, and we appreciate your call, and says, no, I'm not. I'm always going to take care of pre-existing conditions. Me and Leah, we got your backs, Wisconsin.
How?
We got to go to break.
We got to go to break.
We're done here. That's what they usually say when they want to end his press conference.
Yes, they do.
Rapidly. 844-967-2789. Come back. The happy hour. It starts right now.
My good friend, Governor Scott Walker.
It's really good to be here. You know, the stakes are really high for this election.
Trump's administration does hurt women's rights.
He's a threat to health care for all Americans.
Randy Bryce is so important to us because of his stance on reproductive freedom.
Randy Bryce will stand up to protect women.
Women, working people, need to stand with Randy Bryce and vote for him on August 14th.
I am Randy Bryce, and I approve this message.
Hi, this is Demi, pharmacist at Hyatt, locally owned pharmacy in the community of Milwaukee. Simplifying lives, one prescription at a time is our goal. Do free delivery of your medications to your home and at work. All your meds are brought together in one convenient dosage package individualized to your medication needs. We set up a house call with a licensed pharmacist to assist with medication management. We accept all insurance plans. To learn more about Hyatt, visit our website, HAYATRX.com.
You are listening to Real Resistance Radio, WRRD 1510 AM Waukesha and WTTN 1580 AM Columbus. Always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
Bomb suspect nabbed, lack of civility. I'm Barbara Cusack. A Florida man, 56-year-old Cesar Sayoc, has been arrested in connection with the 13 package bomb mailings sent to high-profile Democrats and critics of President Trump. But correspondent Steve Kastenbaum reports the FBI cautions there could still be more packages out there.
FBI Director Christopher Wray said so far they've recovered 13 IEDs that were made of PVC pipe, a clock, a battery, wiring,
and what is known as energetic material, which is essentially potential explosives and material.
He said they were not hoaxes. Ray said they were able to pick up a fingerprint from the device sent to Representative Maxine Waters. And
to the political climate in which these pipe bombs were sent, former President Obama noted the lack of civility as he campaigned for Democrats in Milwaukee.
I'm hoping you think it's wrong to hear people spend years, months, vilifying people, questioning their patriotism, calling them enemies of the people. And then suddenly you're concerned about civility. Please.
President Trump said he bears no blame for the bomb suspect's actions, even though the man is one of his supporters.
I think I've been toned down. You want to know the truth. I could really tone it up because, as you know, the media has been extremely unfair to me and to the Republican Party.
Wall Street has ended sharply lower after a rough trading week, as correspondent Ann Cates reports.
The Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 are now in negative territory for the year. The blue chip index closed down 296 points, while the S&P fell 47 points, and the Nasdaq tumbled 151 points and ends the week off 4%.
Swiss bank UBS said the world's billionaires' combined wealth rose by $1.4 trillion last year to $8.9 trillion. I'm Barbara Cusack.
Ever worry that the anonymous millionaires are setting the agenda for our community with little or no accountability? I do. That's why I joined Citizen Action Organizing Co-op. My fellow members and I want to build a powerful and lasting progressive movement. Together, we can help determine the agenda in our own communities. Then we work with professional organizers and a team of leading strategists to make that agenda happen. We're working on health care, economic justice, child poverty, electing progressive candidates, and more. And our Radioactive campaign supports this station and the Resistance Radio Network. So, won't you come help us build a movement?
Become a member of the Citizen Action Organizing Co-op. Go to citizenactionwy.org.
Thousands of people filled Washington National Cathedral for today's interment service of Matthew Shepard, whose murder 20 years ago became a milestone in the fight for gay rights.
20 years after gay rights icon Matthew Shepard was killed, his ashes are finding a permanent home in the Washington National Cathedral. Episcopal Bishop of Washington, Reverend Mary Ann Buddy, says the cathedral
will forever protect and honor his physical remains, while his soul is safe with God and his spirit lives forever.
For the last 20 years, Shepard's parents have kept his ashes in Laramie, Wyoming, where he was slain. Heather Curtis, Washington.
World Series action shifts to Los Angeles tonight for Game 3. The Dodgers are hoping a warm welcome home will help them reverse a 2-0 deficit as the Red Sox hope to remain on a hot streak in California. I'm Barbara Cusack.
Join the resistance against dirty carpets. Call Zero Res Madison today for our summer special. Clean and sanitize 3 rooms for only $139. Call 608-848-9000 or schedule online at ZeroResMadison.com. Zero Res, spell it forward or backward, it's the right way to clean.
Looking for a job worth talking about? Teaching is creative, collaborative, and intellectually challenging. See why teachers have better work stories at teachdfw.org and learn more about becoming a teacher. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
The Resistance is live 7 days a week here on Real Resistance Radio. Tune in Sundays for Meet the Press with Chuck Todd from 11 a.m. to noon. Then it's the Best of the Forum with Sherwin Hughes from 12 to 3 p.m. And Citizen Action's Battleground Wisconsin rages from 3 to 4 p.m. Get your groove on with Stu Man PM, politics and music 4 to 6 p.m. with Stu Daniels. Mandatory listening, always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gosted. The Milwaukee County Board's Finance Committee yesterday voted unanimously to approve a study to look at building a new natural history museum in Mitchell Park. The idea was proposed by Supervisor Marina Dmitrievich. Mitchell Park is already the home of the county's horticultural conservatory located in the domes. The Milwaukee County Museum announced last year that they want to build a new state-of-the-art natural history museum to replace the current facility in downtown Milwaukee. It's the final weekend for the 25th anniversary celebration of Ugly Duckling Press at Woodland Pattern that's located at 720 East Locust Street in Milwaukee. And if you're looking for spooky things to do, The Exorcist is showing at Downer Theater tonight at midnight, and the MKE Ghost Walk is today at 7:30 at St. Paul and Water. For Real Resistance Radio, I'm Keith Gosted.
Warning, you are about to listen to the greatest radio show ever. And due to contractual obligations and to shield our airwaves' corporate licensees from any semblance of liability, responsibility, and gullibility, we must tell you the views represented on this show are not necessarily those of this station or its management. This radio show contains differing points of view on current political topics, and due to the nature of its contents, it should be heard by everyone. Thank you for listening.
3, 2, 1.
Now live from the heart of liberal Wisconsin, where the political party is just beginning, welcome to the Devil's Advocate Show. Best friends proving it's never personal, only politics.
Please allow me to introduce myself.
Now here are your hosts, Dom and Crute.
Welcome back to the Devil's Advocates Radio Show. Dominic, we are sliding into the 5 o'clock happy hour, and it will be a happy hour indeed if you all go out and vote for Tammy Baldwin, Tony Evers, Mandela Barnes, Josh Call, Sarah Godlewski, and the entire Dem ticket. And normally, I'd be okay if you picked and chose up and down the ticket. Not this year. No freaking way.
No way, man. And all you independents out there, I listen, I'm with Crudy on this one. There has to be a seismic change. Let's make that change happen. I know, you're going to go jump in with all the Dems. Listen, when and if issues occur, I'll be more than happy to lambaste our government, whoever is in charge, but we need to make changes right now. We'll worry about tomorrow.
We'll change who is in charge, and then we'll harangue that person. Dominic wanted to get a headline out there, then we'll get to the phones, 844-967-2789. Airing Friday grievances. I got a big one with this article I found at themadison.com. I'll read. Attorney General Brad Schimmel says his effort to help ExxonMobil, the oil company, the big petrochemical interest.
Oh, yeah, the one that's nationally headquartered right here in Wisconsin?
The corporation that got a bigger tax break than every individual and family in the state of Wisconsin combined, that ExxonMobil.
Oh, that one, okay.
Let me read again. Attorney General Brad Schimmel says his efforts to help ExxonMobil block a government investigation could help protect Wisconsin from legal liability in case someone ever claims state road building, building roads, contributed to climate change.
So the top cop advocating for no investigation to a huge corporation is for our own good?
Yeah, because we don't want to open that Pandora's box, apparently. But legal experts scoffed at the Republican Attorney General's reasoning that oil company liability for climate change could lead to states being found liable because they built roads for automobiles that emit greenhouse gases. That's like a 6 degrees to Kevin Bacon sort of legal rationale. I'm going to read a little further. Schimmel, who faces Democratic challenger Josh Call, we saw him today in the November 6 elections, discussed the ExxonMobil case this week in an interview with the Wisconsin State Journal editorial board. He also discussed criticism of a decrease in fines for polluters since he took office, saying part of the problem is the difficulty he's had replacing attorneys who have left his environmental protection unit. Strange, a guy that's not a believer in climate change is having a hard time hiring environmental protection attorneys.
Wow.
Schimmel emphasized his legal savvy and brushed off criticism by Call, a former federal prosecutor, that he too often puts the public interest behind special interest, such as ExxonMobil. Attorneys general from New York and Massachusetts are investigating whether the company illegally downplayed what it knew about the harm its products could cause. Apparently they've known since 1976, Tom. ExxonMobil has sued to block demands for company records. In the brief Schimmel filed in August, he disputes established science that shows greenhouse gases from sources like the burning of fossil fuels are causing climate change. So first and foremost, legally, he challenges science. He's on the wrong side of science now.
And the law.
Schimmel denies partisan motivation. No, it's all about cash, right? Schimmel denies partisan motivation when he has joined with other Republican attorneys general to fight the Affordable Care Act or looser enforcement of pollution. In the interview, he said he worries if ExxonMobil is found liable for climate change damages, states like Wisconsin could be next. And here's a quote. "We've provided the infrastructure for all these vehicles that travel around," Schimmel said. "That liability is too much of a live wire. It's too unpredictable." One more quote, Dom. "Several attorneys who have handled climate-related litigation say it's highly unlikely road building could snare states in climate change legislation." Wow, said Megan Brown, a Washington, D.C. lawyer who, and I point this out, Dom, like Schimmel, filed a brief in support of ExxonMobil. That's one of the loonier things I've heard. And she's on the same team.
Road building involves so many public and private entities it would be next to impossible to prove global warming was caused by a state, said Brown, who filed on behalf of two business groups, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and the National Association of Manufacturers. In recent years, hundreds of lawsuits have been filed seeking compensation for damages caused by the climate changing. But state governments haven't been prominent targets, in part because the U.S. Constitution and state laws make it much harder to sue a state than a corporation, said Joanne Spalding, the Sierra Club's chief climate counsel. Schimmel's concern, quote, seems really ridiculous because states have 11th Amendment immunity from lawsuits. Not in all instances, but I think a litigant would have a hard time getting damages from a state. Republican Governor Scott Walker, of course, who faces Democrat State Superintendent Tony Evers on the 6th, signed off on Schimmel's brief. Walker didn't respond to requests for comments. You know, Walker's not an attorney, Kroon.
He's told me that.
Evers and Call said they wouldn't have inserted the state into the ExxonMobil lawsuit. The Democratic candidates also have said they would step up enforcement against polluters, which has declined under under Walker and Schimmel. In a 2016 settlement, Schimmel settled an air pollution lawsuit against Wausau 3M plant without a fine, the first time that happened in at least 25 years. Schimmel has pointed to costly improvements the company promised to make to equipment is designed to protect the environment. In the interview, Schimmel provided more detail, telling the State Journal that his staff had recommended a fine that was low, $20,000 to $40,000. It wouldn't have made an impression on such a big corporation. A Schimmel spokeswoman provided a heavily redacted memo that included the recommendation.
Sorry, we had to shred this before we gave it to you.
Schimmel and the memo contradicted the accounts of Thomas Dawson, who headed Schimmel's Environmental Protection Unit at the time. Dawson, now retired, said the unit recommended a fine of in the hundreds of thousands of dollars to reflect the severity of the pollution and deter a wealthy company from further violations. DNR investigators said 3M hadn't consistently controlled the pollution near a residential neighborhood and kept proper records despite 5 years of formal notices. And, of course, he can't hire anybody to work for him, Kroot.
Who in the hell would want to work for Brad Schimmel? I mean, the guy's a hack. I mean, it's bad enough he destroys his own reputation and that of the state of Wisconsin, but who would want to attach their star to Brad Schimmel? That's like, you know, being on the captain of the Titanic.
844-967-2789. Lots of callers lining up. Let's get to him. Mud River Lee, you're up. Hey, man, how you doing today?
How you been, Lee?
Hi, Dom. It's been a wonderful afternoon. I lined my day up so I could hear the last good president, and when Obama came on the air, a grin went on my face. I just couldn't suppress it. And at the end of the speech, there was a tear in my eye. I guess I'm just echoing Wisco Paul's comments. I feel at heart with him. I used to make a living driving. But I got a couple of questions for you. The last one I'll give you last. But the first question is, what kind of cereal did the governor want us to eat when they asked him in the debate, why do we have too much milk? How can we solve the milk problem? And I swear to you, you must have seen it. He said, well, we have to eat more cereal. Do you recall that?
Yeah, and then he tweeted out a picture of some Raisin Bran later.
Well... Now, there's a debate tonight, and I missed the details. Is that going to be out on the media anywhere? I know you're probably mainstream.
It is, but we're not broadcasting it, so I really haven't paid attention to what outlet might be broadcasting. I apologize. I don't mean to be snarky in this case. I just don't know.
It's probably Channel 12. I'll find it anyway, but like so many others, thank you so much for running all this wonderful coverage this week. It's been a great radio week for you folks, and I sure hope everybody notices. I notice it. That's why you haven't been hearing a lot from me. I've been just too interested in listening to it all. It's just been great, and bless you guys.
Well, thanks for the kind words again, Mud River Lee. And I would point out for all our fine audience, including you, Lee, we've got Joe Biden, Uncle Joe Biden in Milwaukee. That event will start about 2 o'clock on Tuesday, October 30th. And if you tune in right here at Real Resistance Radio, either on stream or perhaps the 1510 AM WRRD in Waukesha, Milwaukee, or WTTN 1580 in Columbus, Madison, you'll hear the most relevant radio perhaps ever.
Obama in town today. We brought it to you live, trying to get everyone to get out and vote. And our pal Mud River Lee, well, he does the same thing. He just does it in a different way. Our own Mud River Lee, this one goes out to you. It's your song. We are the Devil's Advocates. Come back with us. Phones are open, 844-967-2789.
Dominic, if you can find a more relevant radio station, I would encourage you to buy one. Come back.
Get yourself a ride. Make a choice and use your voice to have a better life. For today in sunny weather.
That music is for everyone.
I'm Brian Stile. I was born and raised in southeast Wisconsin. It's my home. I approve this message because from agriculture to high-tech manufacturing, we work every day to move Wisconsin forward. We all want our communities to thrive, so the next generation has the opportunity for good-paying jobs, like it used to be. I'm Brian Stile, and you can count on me to always put you and your family first.
Paid for by Stile for Wisconsin, Inc.
Do you own a rental property, or would you like to partner with a rental investment team? Call the pros you can trust at CCL Management. Rental expertise second to none, a general contractor on staff to direct repairs and improvements, and real estate brokerage services tailored to the small investor. If you're ready to invest in rental property or just need professionals to manage your real estate portfolio, call us, CCL Management, at 608-833-0009 or visit us on the web at cclmanagement.com.
The Devil's Advocates.
Tom Perez, chair of the Democratic National Committee. You know, Tom, I didn't know you had all the Badger roots. I got a little hashtag. I'd like to try it out on you. DNC MKE 2020, sir. What do you think? Milwaukee for the DNC, Tom.
They are one of the cities that has expressed interest. Obviously, the new arena is going to be open and running by them. And I'm sure they will put forth a very, very credible package.
Well, Tom, it's nice that the stadium will be opening up, but also last year on the east side of Milwaukee, the Devil's Advocates and WRRD opened their stations on Brady Street.
Bring it home, Tom.
Wow. Amen. Well, I stayed up all night the night before my wedding, so I went out to a lot of watering holes not too far from there.
You're supposed to skip a night between the bachelor party and the wedding, sir.
I didn't get the memo. I wish we had done this interview 30 years ago.
Making radio great again. The Devil's Advocates. We drink when we toast. We toast when we drink.
I don't feel dirty.
We are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show. Happy Friday, happy hour. You can join us on the phones, 844-967-2789.
Dom, let's not dawdle. Let's get back to our fine audience on the phones. Once again, that number, 844-96-PARTY.
Reverend Dean, you are back. Thanks for calling, man. What do you got for us today?
Well, Wisco Paul started this whole love fest, and that's actually why I was calling.
Nice.
I'll get to that in a second. Just calm yourself.
You big tease, Dean.
I don't like following this because he's so articulate and so poignant. But the one thing I hope tonight happens that he ties that ever ties Schimmel to this thing. Because that's an important race. That race is no less important than the governor.
No doubt, but that's not Tony's job, Dean. That's Josh Call's job. That's not Tony's job. Tony's job's to beat Scott Walker.
Aren't we in this together, eh?
Sure, but I wouldn't waste my 30 to 60 second interval to answer whatever question is posed to me. I mean, I'd like to hear Tony answer something concisely, with a little right hook behind it. I'm more worried about Tony beating Scott Walker. Now, I care a lot about Brad Schimmel, the worst attorney general in Wisconsin's history, no longer.
Not just kids love to you guys, but kids love to your sponsors. It's so ironic that the union was part of the sponsor that made it happen, because I had a chance to go, and I was so excited. I'm going to go see. I've never seen the former president in person, and my nephew happens to be a union steward in Kenosha, and he's like, "I've got to make these calls. Can you help me?" Right? And I was like, "Ooh!" But then you guys allowed me to be there in the very moment, and yet be at home making the calls for the union to make sure that we're all on board. To do the work that President Obama talked about.
I tell you what, our friends at Teamsters Local 200 especially, and also Teamsters Local 344, our friends the painters. I saw Andy Buck there in the crowd. I mean, they've all stepped up. Whenever we've made that phone call and said, hey, guys, got a big event. Will you be a part? I mean, I very seldom do they say no to me, and I've been said no to many times in my life. I don't like it, Dean. And the union guys, they stand up. Union guys and girls, that's sort of the generic guys. Yeah, we appreciate them a lot. And also our friends over at Bounce Milwaukee, the Clancy family, they're good progressives. We support them at Bounce and Fling Milwaukee as well.
Absolutely. And just wanted to let you know, because of that, I was able to do the work of the union, do that work while listening to everything that happened in that thing.
Well, Reverend Dean, Uncle Joe Biden coming on Tuesday. We'll broadcast that live as well, assuming all the gremlins align. That one Tuesday afternoon at the Union Hall, I believe on Appleton, right here in Milwaukee. I think that Uncle Joe's coming for a union-friendly, union-centric event on behalf of Evers, Call, and Baldwin as well.
And I will trust you guys to broadcast that so I can be out here canvassing and still listening to it.
Buddy, Wisconsin, thank you, Dean. Wisconsin, center of the political universe, and this little radio station, a little bit of hustle, a lot of talent, and some hardworking guys, man. We're kicking ass every day. Kiss my ass, Brad Schimmel, but we do it better than you Republicans do it. I don't see any whitey-righty radio out. I mean, I didn't even see him at the Trump event.
I wouldn't recognize him if I did.
You'd recognize Vicky.
Don't forget sexy, Curdy. Very sexy here at Resistance Radio. Thank you, Reverend Dean. Let's keep going on the phones. 844-967-2789. Lonnie from Albuquerque. Hey, Lonnie, welcome back. Happy Friday. What do you got today?
Hey, guys. Happy Friday.
Thanks.
Wow, everybody just loves this radio station. I guess you better put me down for it, too.
I'm putting you down for double love. 2 scoops.
Yeah, I was just sitting up here. I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling bad about Agent Orange. It's sad. I really feel remorse for this here dude. That's sad.
Were you able, did you live stream, Lonnie, did you hear President Barack Obama? I like to call him Barry. Did you hear Barack today on this little radio endeavor?
Yes, I did. I do miss him. Too bad he couldn't run for another term. But, I think it's really cool that they found this guy that sent out all these here bombs to this here terrorist that sent out all these bombs to all our public officials.
You mean the MAGA bomber? I mean, even Donald Trump is now accepting and acknowledging that this bomber guy, this pipe bomb guy, is a Trump supporter. Now, Trump won't accept any blame for tone or any of that kind of stuff, but this guy's a big Trump guy, and Republicans can call it a false flag all they want. Even Donald Trump is apparently acknowledging that, Lonnie.
Well, so does that mean the guy that was a Bernie Sanders supporter that shot up the Republican baseball team, that means he's now in the clear along with this
Yeah,
guy?
right. So now everybody's even?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, Lonnie. I don't get it. I mean, I don't recall, Barack Obama talking the way that Donald Trump did, and whatever motivated the guy that shot up the Bernie Sanders supporter, quote unquote, that shot up. It certainly wasn't the rhetoric.
Scalise and the Republicans.
Yes. It certainly wasn't the rhetoric coming out of President Barack Obama.
The guy that shot up the Republicans, I think they cut him off of his meds, and he just had a reaction. Be honest with you.
Well, we don't know that that's not the case with this guy that's been allegedly the sender of bombs around the nation. We did see some photos of him, Dom. Apparently, he has 3 prior, at least, threats of utilizing explosive devices to do harm. So this guy was a known quantity. And when you got a minivan or, like one of those white vans covered with Trump stickers to the point where you can't see in the windows, and he probably lives in it down by the river, who knows what set this guy off. But I would say the rhetoric of Donald Trump is dangerous overall.
Well, the rhetoric of Donald Trump
matched by the left.
It did not, tell this guy not to act like that. No, you can say the words, but when you continually say, we read a piece the other day, if someone believed all the things that President Trump says with regards to what the Dems want to do and open borders and let MS-13 move into your neighborhood and kill your family. I mean, if you believe
rape your daughter and your wife.
If you believe the Alex Jones version of reality, then perhaps these kinds of acts could be seen as an act of self-defense. So it's not enough just to say, well, no, we all got to get along now. No. You need to apologize for what you've done. People are going to be crazy. You cannot do that. But what you can do is throw gasoline on the fire, and you've been doing that, Donald Trump, since you've been elected. Hell, you did it when you were running for the presidency. You are a divide and conqueror, and that you need to stop doing that.
I'm less concerned about one fringer sending out bombs, no offense to those that received the bombs, is the multitude of racists that have been inspired by this president to come out and call the cops on people, shopping while black, gardening while black, parenting while black. Our nation is turning just a little bit racist-er. Talking about racist, let's talk about Glenn Grothman a little, and your calls as well. Grievances aired here. It's Friday. TGIF 844-967-2789.
The guy was very, very angry and tired, and he wants to go home.
I don't give a rat's behind because I'm moving in. I'm sick and tired of living in a van down by the river.
The stakes are really high for this election.
Trump's administration does hurt women's rights.
He's a threat to health care for all Americans.
Randy Bryce is so important to us because of his stance on reproductive freedom.
Randy Bryce will stand up to protect women.
Women, working people need to stand with Randy Bryce and vote for him on August 14th.
I am Randy Bryce, and I approve this message.
The Resistance is live 7 days a week here on Real Resistance Radio. Tune in Saturdays for Busted Pencils, fully leaded education talk with Dr. Tim Slecker, 11 a.m. to noon. Then it's the voice of the voiceless, champion of the working class. Earl Ingram's Saturday show is live from 12 to 3 p.m. From 3 to 4, it's State Rep Joe Costa Zamaripa hosting The Joe Costa Show, followed by The Dawn of the Resistance with Maggie Dawn, 4 to 6. Mandatory listening, always streaming at realresistanceradio.com.
Here's how you get them. If someone invites you for a cocktail, you bring them beer. If someone invites you to dinner, you bring a casserole. That's how you make friends. That's the Wisconsin way.
It's really good to be here. The stakes are really high for this election.
Trump's administration does hurt women's rights.
He's a threat to health care for all Americans.
Randy Bryce is so important to us because of his stance on reproductive freedom.
Randy Bryce will stand up to protect women.
Women, working people need to stand with Randy Bryce and vote for him on August 14th.
I am Randy Bryce, and I approve this message.
Hey everyone, it's your nominee for Lieutenant Governor, Mandela Barnes. I know I don't need to tell you what's at stake with this election, but I want to talk to you about my friend and running mate, Tony Evers. Now, I've gotten to know Tony over the last couple months as we've crisscrossed the state. I've seen his resolve and his dedication to solving the problems Wisconsin faces, especially when it comes to access to quality, affordable health care, protecting our environment, and making sure that every kid in Wisconsin has a great public school, regardless of their zip code. But Tony and I can't win this election alone. We need your help to talk to those that might still be on the fence. So whatever you can do will help. Knock on doors, talk to your neighbors, talk to your family. When we're fighting to take back the state from Scott Walker and the special interests, every little bit helps. You can make the difference in this election. So visit TonyEvers.com and sign up to help. It's time for a change. And that's why Tony for Wisconsin paid for this ad.
Hi, my name is Shantae, your local Hyatt pharmacist. With more than 10 locations here in the Milwaukee area, we're here to simplify your lives one script at a time. With free delivery to your home or work, where all your medications are brought together in one convenient dosage packaged, individualized to your daily medication regimen. We set up in-house calls with the licensed pharmacist to assist in medication management. We accept all insurance plans. To learn more about Hyatt, visit us at our website, HAYATRX.com.
For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gostad. PolitiFact Wisconsin checked Leah Vukmer's claim that Medicare for all would mean no more Medicare for senior citizens. PolitiFact rated the statement as mostly false. The story in today's Journal Sentinel says Vukmer's claim ignores the fact that Medicare for all would replace and enhance the current version of Medicare. Vukmer has even said that Medicare for all would literally throw grandma off a cliff, a reference to what PolitiFact called the lie of the year during the Obamacare debate in 2011. Forecast for Friday, cloudy, highs in the low 50s. Tonight, cloudy, lows in the low 40s. Saturday, mostly cloudy, highs in the low 50s. Sunday, rainy and windy, highs again in the low 50s. For Real Resistance Radio, my name is Keith Gostad.
Do it again, over.
The Devil's Advocates, making radio great again.
Laying down one night, would Papa tell Mama? Would Papa tell Mama?
Hey, this ain't the Scott K. Walker Blues. If you're listening to the Devil's Advocates, you never got the blues. You got nothing but the greatest radio show ever, and you can be a part of it. Simply call the phone line, 844-967-2789. Be like Jake from Milwaukee. Jake, welcome back to the big show. What do you got for us today?
Okay, promise I'm not going to cry.
I love you, man.
It was great to hear Obama again, actually.
Yes.
Just coming from, first we have a president that's put food on our children and the fish and human can get together, Bush. Then we have a president who can actually speak English, do complete sentences, who has dignity, respect, all this other stuff.
Jake, as long as you don't hold us to that standard.
No, your standard is pretty small. Don't worry about that.
Hey, it's not small. It might be low, but it's not small.
Shrinkage.
Okay. And then we have the orange buffoon, who's just a terrible human being, all in all, and most of his supporters are. So it was really, really good to hear his voice today. I listened to most of it, so it was pretty inspiring. So, but unlike everyone else, I'm not going to be like, you guys are the best. I love you. I have something.
Bye, Jake. No, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
No. Last year on your first year anniversary, I got there and the beer was gone. I missed it by like one beer. So next year for 2 years, get 2 barrels. So that's all I've got to say.
You kick it in for beer? Ask grass or gas. Nobody rides for free, Jake.
I know. Oh, it was good. So cool. I will talk to you guys later. It's great to listen. Glad you're around.
All right, thanks.
Apparently,
Jake.
we'll bump
Appreciate
into you sometime earlier in the evening on February 1st next year.
844-967-2789.
There could be a Democratic president. There could be a Democratic presidential debate by then.
Yeah, no doubt. Have it up with the coin. Crudy, this, of course, is the Mad Bomber. The white van. Full and covered with
Trump-loving stickers.
Not only that, there's some Democrats on the side of that van with crosshairs.
I thought I saw Michael Moore with a crosshair over his head. And like Obama on a tricycle or something strange.
With
and it was like
crosshair.
And there were, like youth soccer for Trump. Switchblade Club of America for Trump.
The one that I've seen often. Anyway, the crosshairs. Let's talk about the crosshairs. Hillary Clinton's got a crosshair on her. Barack Obama, apparently on a tricycle, has a crosshair on him.
Yeah, but can you take those literally? You got Donald Trump riding on a flaming tank with like an eagle on one shoulder and an American flag behind him. Are these all supposed to be taken entirely literally? He's more of a bomber than a shooter, Dom.
Earl, apparently so. But here's my question. Now,
don't forget the CNN sucks.
Oh, of course, the dishonest media. Crudy, they tried to cover the white van full of Trump-loving stickers and Dem-hating stickers with a blue tarp as they transported it to custody. And it kept blowing off. Now, here's my question. Why are they trying to cover it with a tarp?
Oh, I'm watching this. It keeps falling off.
It keeps coming off. But is that necessary? I mean, is there? It's just a blue tarp. It's not
they're flying
an explosive protector or anything. I mean, it seems like they're just trying to cover the van so people can't see the crazy Trump-loving, Dem-hating stickers on the side.
Here's what I would postulate. The investigation is ongoing. Now, they might have a suspect. They've got, a fingerprint or DNA. The bomb's intact. Of course, they didn't blow up, and they were covered in Scotch tape, apparently. The DNA was captured. This suspect now in custody. But if that's your buddy, man, that's not like a Toyota Highlander where everyone's got one that's gray. I mean, that's a white van covered in entirely Trump stickers. Maybe the FBI trying to be a little discreet to not tip off, currently uncaught co-conspirators.
No.
Well, that's just my plan.
Come
that's
on,
my
man.
thought. You got a better idea?
Yeah, here's what A.G. Sessions said. Cover that up. We don't need, pro-Trump, anti-Dem, crosshairs being showed to the media. Cover it up if you can. And
but again, Trump is
acknowledged
this guy's a big Trumper.
We have some sound from this, Brian. We have some sound. We got something going on here. Cut 80 suspicious packages.
No, that was from the other night in Wisconsin, was it not?
No, these are still
That's what Trump said on Wednesday night. You were there.
I know, man. 88 on is today. Let's hear it. Let's hear some Trump from today. The person is in custody. Let's start with that. 89? Let's do 89.
I am pleased to inform you that law enforcement has apprehended the suspect and taken him into custody.
They seem quite pleased about that. The audience, he's before, of course he hasn't mentioned, and he's one of ours.
Let's keep going, Brian.
These terrorizing acts are despicable and have no place in our country. No place. The bottom line is that Americans must unify.
What?
And we must show the world that we are united together in peace and love and harmony as fellow American citizens.
In support of Trump.
There is no country like our country. And every day we are showing the world just how truly great we are.
Peace, love, and harmony?
Don't forget thoughts and prayers.
Are you leading us there, Donald Trump, by your actions? I mean, what exactly are you doing to foster the peace, love, and harmony that you think is so required to bring this country together? You are the president, like it or not, hater of half, president of all. What are you doing? What have you done? How have you address this other than having words come out of your mouth, most of which, historically speaking, lots of them 7, 8, 9 times a day, you're lying, you're full of it. What are you doing to foster this love?
Summer blonde in his hair?
Highlights?
Because everybody loves a blonde in the summer, Dom. The summer of America.
I don't know where we left off, Brian.
Maybe it's just the bad hair dye.
Here's more of Donald Trump today at a youth black leadership conference, I guess, giving words regarding the suspect being in custody. Let's go with the next one.
I want to applaud the FBI, Secret Service, the Department of Justice, the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, the NYPD, and all law enforcement throughout the entire country, incredible partners.
The U.S. Attorney's Office for Southern New York, as Fancy Brian even noted in the soundproof broadcast booth. I heard him harumphing in there. I said, ha! They've got him under current investigation, do they not?
I think more than one investigation, yeah.
The Trump Foundation just waiting on a court ruling to find out whether they can proceed in that case.
And thank you to the DOJ, who did a fine job, except for that guy who leads the, that weak little man Sessions. I don't know why he's even there. The guy is complimenting the guy, the DOJ head by Sessions, who he obviously does not like, cannot stand, rips on him all the time. But we're supposed to believe the unity call and the love.
He can't even unify his own administration.
He can't even unify a thought consistently from day to day. Let's keep going, please. Cut number 93.
It's a needle in a haystack. How do you do this so quickly? They've done an incredible job, and I want to congratulate them.
Maybe the white van
maybe the
wrapped in Trump-loving anti-Democrat with gun sights on the Democrats. Maybe that was a tell.
I mean, maybe it would. I don't know. Call me crazy, but if I saw just a plethora of vehicles and I had to pick one out that I thought might be responsible for something like this, I might start with that one.
Now, Wolf Blitzer reporting at the CNN, at least the Chiron, the mail bomb suspect arrested, charged with 5 federal crimes, and Trump has acknowledged, I heard he was a supporter of mine.
Trump told reporters, again, this is the Washington Post today, if I bear with me, Trump told reporters that he thinks he does not bear any blame for the alleged crimes. No, not at all, Trump said as he left the White House for a political rally in North Carolina. There's no blame, there's no anything, Trump said, adding that the gunman who shot and badly wounded Rep. Steve Scalise last year was a supporter of another party. Asked about pro-Trump stickers or signs on the van allegedly driven by the suspect, Trump said, I did not see my face on the van. I don't know. I heard he was a person who preferred me over others. Trump also said that coverage of the mail bombs had interfered with Republican momentum ahead of the November 6th midterm elections. Oh, too bad. FBI head Ray declined to say if the suspect is cooperating with investigators. When asked why he allegedly targeted Democrats, Sessions said he appears to be a partisan, but that would be determined by the facts as the case goes forward.
He's got the MAGA hat on.
He's declined to comment further.
There are several photos of him at Trump rallies, Tom. Now I know you and I have both been to Trump rallies, but we didn't wear MAGA hats. And he was also sporting a wife beater, and apparently he's got, must work out. He's got big pipes. And I don't mean the kind he builds into bombs. I'm talking about the arms.
So, no blame, no anything, nothing the president does, doesn't rile people up, doesn't encourage it, doesn't discourage it, but I guess he doesn't. It's not like Donald Trump stands up there and says, hey, all you crazy folks out there, especially you with the stickers all over your vans, why don't you send some bombs to people I don't like and let me tell you their names?
But he
doesn't do that. Those words don't come out of his mouth, but his actions do not dissuade someone like this or anybody from doing that.
But Dominic, on Monday, Donald Trump did encourage and support Gianforte, the congressman from Montana.
The body slam?
Oh, that's my kind of guy. Yeah. I'm all down for the body slamming of the media. That's all good as far as Donald Trump's concerned. And I got to tell you, you know what else is all good, Dom?
What's that?
Did you see our beer and pizza just arrived?
Oh, who brought it over?
I believe it was Kurt. I think it's Kurt.
Was it Curtis?
Curtis from Stallis. Hey, man.
Oh, he didn't stick around?
No, he just waved and brought us a pizza.
Oh, he's coming back.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
He's getting changed right now.
All right. Excellent.
I hope there's some pizza left when he gets back.
Did he bring beer
some
too?
beer? Oh, yeah.
Oh, right. Well, let's take a break.
Spotted Cow.
Oh, excellent.
The happy hour. It's a little happier up in here, and it's always happier up here on Brady when you call us. We like being in the center of the political hurricane, and today, a big day. Barack Obama in town. We broadcast it live. Joining us in the happy hour on Monday.
And Tuesday, Biden's in town.
And Tuesday, Uncle Joe Biden will go live again. Another big day folks, they're all big days around here. Nothing but relevant radio. You're listening to the Devil's Advocates Real Resistance Radio. Your last segment today to air your grievances or any other thoughts. 844-967-2789.
When you walk that walk and talk that talk, you knocks me out off my feet. Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom.
Keep America great! Exclamation point.
Yes, yes, but now, let's eat. Come. Good food.
Hi, I'm Becky from Bounce, Milwaukee, and I want to be the first to invite you to our newest attraction, axe throwing at Fling Milwaukee. Bring your friends, date, co-workers, or family to experience the rush of throwing axes at Milwaukee's first indoor throwing arena. Open 6 days a week for corporate team building, bachelor and bachelorette parties, date night, or just a fun night out. More information at flingmilwaukee.com or 414-312-4357.
Every day we see more and more divisiveness in our country. And a president in Donald Trump who tweets and shouts and tries to distract us from getting things done in our community. But in Wisconsin, we have a senator who's fighting back and staying focused on what matters. It's Tammy Baldwin who's fighting to make health care affordable and protect people with pre-existing conditions like cancer and diabetes. She wrote the Partners Act to help men and women get vocational and technical training for jobs that can support a family. And it's Tammy Baldwin who has introduced the Fair Chance Act that would ban the box. So anyone seeking a job who's been previously incarcerated doesn't have to check a box at the beginning of the hiring process. Every day, we have a senator who's focused on what matters.
I'm Tammy Baldwin, candidate for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Tammy Baldwin for Senate.
Getting a raise at work shouldn't mean paying more for healthcare and taking home less. Badger Care is arguably the best and most cost-effective health plan out there, but it's not an option for most of us. Lillian Cheeseman is fighting for us to change this. Lillian is committed to making Badger Care accessible and affordable to anyone in Wisconsin without income qualifiers at an affordable price. Let's cut the red tape on Badger Care and work for a healthier Wisconsin. Be a real Wisconsinite and vote for Cheese for Assembly 15th on November 6th. Paid for by Friends of Cheeseman.
You're listening to the radio show your mother warned you about. Dom and Krutz are the Devil's Advocates.
And we are back. Thank you for listening to the Devil's Advocates radio show. Last segment of the day. If you've got something to say, now is your time. We air grievances on Friday. You can join us at 844-967-2789.
Dominic, quick thought. Fancy Brian working his ass off in there. We're going to replay today's Barack Obama event, and it was an event, this Sunday at noon right here on Real Resistance Radio, and I will answer your thought. No, the Packers don't start till 3:25.
Oh, right on.
And after the Barack Obama event, oh, man, I love this guy on the street. Is that a big marijuana plant I see walking down the street? That is the greatest costume. And the dog. He brought the dog. The dog's got a costume on as well. Yeah, let him in. So this Saturday, Barack Obama will play out on Real Resistance Radio, 1510, 1580. And about 2 o'clock, we will transition and we will rerun the Bernie Sanders event from Monday.
Oh, nice.
We're not going to torture the audience with a replay of
Trump.
The profane Trump.
Oh, okay. So
I don't think we could even clean it up for broadcast.
It would take a while. The noon to 2, is 2 hours, so it's going to be everybody, not just Barack Obama, but all the speeches.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, big event.
Yes, excellent.
Right here on Real Resistance Radio. And final thought.
You're welcome.
Yes.
844-967-2789. I like the way you think, Crudy.
We are predictable.
Joe from Madison.
Predictably
welcome.
Sexy and tremendous.
Welcome to the show, Joe. What do you got for us today?
Was that sexy and tremendous headed my way? Because thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Well, one of them is. I got to stay here.
Anyway, hi. I'm calling just real quick. I don't know if you guys have covered this hour. I was in and out, or this show. I was in and out. The Center for Media and Democracy, a national group based in Madison, I know you folks have dealt with them before, came out with a report just today that hundreds of thousands of people have been dropped from the rolls in the state of Wisconsin, particularly in Dane County and Milwaukee. I don't know. Did you folks cover that or not? Because I'd really like to know what we do.
Joe, it hasn't really been an issue yet for us. I would say it doesn't have to be an issue for anyone in the state of Wisconsin because we can all register day of at the polls. But better idea still, Joe, go early vote. Go find out for sure. Take a utility bill. Take your voter ID. I don't like it either, but it's a requirement here in the state of Wisconsin. Take your voter ID, a couple of bills, couple of something that demonstrates your home address. And if they give you any trouble whatsoever with your registration, register at the point of voting. You can do that in Wisconsin. That should not be a deterrent for anyone that wants to vote. And hell, if you're worried, go do it early. Do it when it's not going to inconvenience you. You can vote this weekend in Milwaukee. They've expanded the number of open early voting locations.
Great advice. Thanks. You guys are terrific. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you so much for calling, Joe. We appreciate it.
In other states, that could be a big problem. I'm sure many have heard the stories about Georgia. The current attorney general, who's also running for governor, is trying to suppress the vote, basically trying to throw Georgians off the roll of registrants. Bring them in. Bring them in.
Real quick.
But that's not the issue here in the state of Wisconsin because you don't have to pre-register to vote in Wisconsin.
But the Republicans, if they had any way, their way, they would do something about it. Here is the title, exposed by CMD, hundreds of thousands of Wisconsin voters purged from the rolls since the 2016 general election. The Center for Media and Democracy finds almost 700,000 voters have been removed from voter rolls since the end of 2016, and that significantly more voters were purged from the rolls in Democratic-leaning counties than in Republican-leaning counties. So, yes, Joe, thank you for bringing that up. We did post it. It is on our Facebook page. Please go and check it out, or you can go to exposedbycmd.org, I believe, and read it yourself. But that is what the Republicans are trying to do. When they cannot win in the arena of ideas, they're trying to mess with the machinations of the voting process.
Dominic, we would like to welcome a very debonair guest into the studio. He's wearing a costume of sorts or a prop. I would say it's encouragement to go vote yes on the marijuana, especially medicinal marijuana referendum. Curtis, welcome to the studio, man. You brought beer.
Yep.
You brought pizza.
Yep.
And you brought a dog.
Yep. This is Dr. Ralph.
Dr. Ralph.
He ain't just a regular dog. He's called Dr. Ralph.
And he's got his own Real Resistance Radio t-shirt. He's not wearing it today, not as part of his costume.
Nope, not his costume. No, because otherwise he wouldn't be looking like a doctor. See, he's got to look like a doctor, he's got the white.
He kind of looks like Nurse Ratched, but sexier.
Oh, no. He's got a nicer face. He's got a real nicer face.
And you're wearing a big potted plant-style marijuana leaf. With
My sister made this costume.
That is a fantastic costume.
And I made this costume for two reasons. One, there's a gentleman that was on your radio station. He's from Madison. He was for cannabis.
Brian Simonson.
He'll be back
and
next
then also,
week.
I'm doing
Thursday,
this because
coming at 4:20.
I'm also doing this because there's a little girl in Madison that was diagnosed with cancer. Her grandmother took her to Colorado and lived off of $20,000. That's all she had. Now she came back, and now her cancer's coming back. So I'm like, you know what? This is my first day, so I figure I'm going to start here because I will be walking the streets from now until Election Day because I'm going to promote, vote for me. I don't have any money. So I'm saying, vote for me. I'm on the ballot. So please come and vote for me on November 2nd. Or you can also 6th. That's right. Because November 3rd. November 3rd is the last time you can vote early. So that's on my little sign here. If you can kind of read it there. I also want to promote myself and my dog because we have to get the word out. Vote yes, please. Look at the ballot. I voted 2 days ago, and I voted yes. So please join me and join Dr. Ralph and come along and vote.
And we will certainly support And second that emotion.
Hell yes. Curtis,
I also have your thing here, too.
Real Resistance Radio, 1510 a.m. This man is dressed to the nines. Curtis,
I love you, man.
Brady Street's having their Halloween party tomorrow. You would probably be very popular. If you make it up this way, man, run into me. Come meet me down at the Coin. We'll buy you some beers, man. We appreciate it.
Well, I definitely will. I don't drink alcohol.
Well, smoke a little weed.
Do you smoke
I never
cannabis?
did that either. My sister laughs at me because I never drank, never smoked, never did drugs in my life.
Well, if you don't drink but smoke,
what do you do?
I work out. I'm actually a fitness instructor. I was working at Blast Total Fitness, but now they closed it down.
All right, well, Curtis, meet my buddy Crudy. He could use a little working out.
Oh.
And I'll,
come walk the streets with me, man. Me and Bubby, me and the doctor here.
You know what?
Whenever I walk the streets, I get offered weird and unusual trades.
Curtis, I don't know if you want to hang around Crudy. With that outfit on too long, he may hang you upside down, dry you, and roll you up and try to smoke you.
Oh, no, not yet. You have to wait until after we beat Mr. No Good Walker. Did you love that song? I loved that song earlier today. That was phenomenal. Phenomenal
the Scott
song.
K. Walker Blues.
That's the Scott K. Walker Blues. I was singing it and delivering my stuff, singing it. People were like, "What are you singing?" I'm singing the Scott Walker K. Walker Blues.
That's not me. I'm Scott K. Walker. That's Scott P. Walker Blues. If you were going to lie about the governor or just say something with impact, any advice? Tony Evers about to take the stage with Scott Walker, the final gubernatorial debate. What would you have Tony say? What do you think rings true? What do you think brings Tony victory on the 6th?
Oh, Tony. Oh, man. Well, Mr. Barnes, too. Don't forget, his sidekick. Like I said before, remember the old saying, men in black? Well, these are the men in Wisconsin, baby. They are going to do it. And all the way.
So you would bring up the weed. You'd say yes on medical marijuana, medicinal marijuana, recreational marijuana.
I'm saying put those vending machines on the street and let's pay those Foxconn bills, man. I'm not paying the Foxconn bills. My dog has to have food. You know what I mean? And I let me tell you, we have to get these vending machines up there. We have to do something here. Because let me tell you, these taxes, he wants to talk about the gas tax. The gas tax ain't nothing compared to the Foxconn tax. I mean, this is we got to do something.
Legal marijuana in the state of Wisconsin could bring up to $200 million a year in tax revenue just to the state of Wisconsin.
Tony Evers, if you have the courage to do so, ask Scott Walker if he had a love baby in college.
Yes, he did.
It's a Scott P. Walker.
Want to thank all our fine audience. Thank you all for listening. A very special day. Barack Obama. Want to thank Sherwin Hughes. Want to thank Earl Ingram. Want to thank Fancy Brian. And, of course, all of you for listening. All the kind words, the pizza, the beer. It is a good Friday indeed. And replay of these two big events Saturday, starting with Obama at noon. Then Bernie Sanders at 2 o'clock. And don't forget Tuesday, Uncle Joe Biden. It doesn't get any better than this. Thank you all for listening. Have a great weekend.
Go Thanks,
Badgers.
Curtis.
Go Packers.
Kevin Walker Blues.
What's been going on while I've been gone?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. All is well.
It's really good to be here. The stakes are really high for this election.
Trump's administration does hurt women's rights.
He's a threat to health care for all Americans.
Randy Bryce is so important to us because of his stance on reproductive freedom.
Randy Bryce will stand up to protect women.
Women, working people, need to stand with Randy Bryce and vote for him on August 14th.
I am Randy Bryce, and I approve this message.
You concerned about speaking up at work? Do you feel like you have no say in your day-to-day work routine? Join Teamsters Local 344. Call 414-258-4545. Get a seat at the table. Join your brothers and sisters in negotiating for better wages, hours, and working conditions, and be part of the most powerful union in North America. Teamsters